Greetings, Brian Keeler here. Welcome to my studio in Ithaca, New York. I'm going to be doing a short video completion of this painting here. And it's a scene from coastal Maine near Acadia National Park in the town of Corea, Maine. Odd name for a town, but it's spelled with a C, Corea, Maine. And I'm going to show you some progressions here. What you're going to see on your screen here now are the painting as it progresses. This is the first stage, the drawing stage, where I have it mapped out. And you'll notice I've put a lot of effort into organizing the clouds in this first one. So I've invented the clouds, but I have them organized to go back into space. Over on the right side, you'll see them kind of diminishing towards the horizon. So the clouds were orchestrated to do that. In this second video, I'm starting to block in the light areas, and I have the clouds are all dark shapes against the background, and in this third one, I'm continuing to develop it. I'm using almost all warm colors in this painting. It's almost a study in value with warm colors, with the exception of the upper part of the cloud, which is a lavender color, and of course the sky, but the main part of the scene on the bottom, I'm dealing primarily with warm tones and warm hues and light. And this last image that you're seeing is the painting near completion, except for what I'm going to do today. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just punch in a few highlights here with this sun filtering onto the beach. It was a low tide. The tide was out here, but the beach here area was had a lot of moisture in it, so we're getting these glints of light here, and then the sun dappled effects of the light filtering through the trees in the background there. So we have this nice impressionistic filtered light on a October afternoon is when I was there. And so I'm just sort of restating some of these things that I've already done here. Oops, I got a little bit of a cool in there. Don't want that. Okay, I'm going to scumble on a little bit of warm color here in the background here to lighten this value even more so of the distant shore. And this color that I'm using is a combination of yellow ochre, Naples yellow, and white, of course, to further suggest this warmth, this light that was coming through here. And I'm going to go a little darker as it goes across here, but still using a warm yellow ochre-ish color here. Okay. The paint is going on without hardly any solvent. It's mostly just pure paint there that's going on. Okay, maybe I'll just punch up this rock here to indicate the shape of it. The top of it would be catching some light here, and this one here too, just to kind of suggest the form of the light. Okay, could go into these beams of light coming through. I could restate those just a little bit more. This nice filtered light of the sun coming through here. Okay, I want to do one other minor correction to the sky here. and I'm going to fix this this horizontal band of clouds. It's too much what's called a tangent point. It's kind of arcing too much exactly between those two clouds behind it. So I'm going to try to straighten that out so that arc isn't so much determined by the clouds behind it. So basically just kind of straightening it out a little bit here. Probably nobody would mind that or notice it, but it's just something that I wanted to address and fix. Need to go a little bit darker where these clouds are kind of subtle, these horizontal, and the neat thing about these type of clouds, which you may have observed too, is they add a sense of a depth, another layer. In other words, this is a layer of clouds, that's a layer of clouds, and then these horizontal ones are another one in front of those. And there are some famous cloud painters that I've loved to look at and learn from. One of them is a 17th century Dutch painter called Hobbema, I think his name is pronounced. But then there's some contemporary American painters, N.C. Wyeth, of course, and then there's another guy called Maynard Dixon, and a contemporary painter called Ed Mell. So they're primarily Southwest painters, but I've looked at their work and learned from them. So I've invented these two figures here. I just like the element of the conversation. That's the title of the painting, called Conversation on the Dock, and I like the human element in there just to indicate some scale and some interaction. And so I just kind of made those fellows up there, and I like the inclusion of them in there. And it's related to some historical painters. Claude Lorraine was one. He did these large landscapes of Italy, and it would oftentimes include some figures, but they were always relatively small, sort of similar to this. Okay, so that's pretty much this finished painting. You can see this painting and many others at my upcoming exhibit at the Roger Lapel Gallery in Philadelphia, and after that at many other places, at the Laura Craig Gallery in Scranton and the West End Gallery in Corning, New York. And once again, you should visit my website and see my full-length videos on there. There's several that were done here locally, and they're very extensive and thorough. And then there's several that were done through the Artist Network in Cincinnati, and they're available on the Artist Network site. So thank you so much for your attention.